Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ESPN.
Which stands for Earth-Shaking South and Powerful North.
Yes, and guess what day it is?
That's right, it's the weekend, which means ESPN Top 3 Battles of 1800s.
On the seat for number 3 would be the Battle of Chickamauga. Let's take a look. On September 19th to the 20th, 1863, Braxton Bragg's Army of Tennessee defeated a Union force commanded by General William Rosecrans in the Battle of Chickamauga during the American Civil War. After Rosecrans' troops pushed the Confederates out of Chattanooga early that month.
Well, did anyone call for help?
Indeed, Bragg called for reinforcements and launched a counterattack on the banks of nearby Chickamauga Creek. Over 2 days of battle, the rebels forced Rosecrans to give way with heavy losses on both sides. Bragg failed to press his advantage after the victory, however, allowing the Federals to safely reach Chattanooga.
Well, what was the final outcome?
Well, General Grant soon arrived with reinforcements, allowing the Union to reverse the results of Chickamauga and score a lasting victory in the region that November.
Well, isn't that a story? That sounds almost as scary as seeing you get out of bed in the morning.
Indeed it is, Megan. Shouldn't we show the next clip already?
Ah, yes indeed. For the number 2 spot on the list is the Cold Harbor. Let's take a look. The Battle of Cold Harbor was fought from May 31st to June 12th in 1864, with one of the most significant fighting occurring on June 3rd. It was one of the final battles General Grant led and was one of the bloodiest, most twisted battles.
Why was it the most twisted battle?
Well, there was a total of 3 battles fought, and both sides were struggling greatly. On May 31st, Grant's army overswung Lee's army and seized the crossroads of Old Cold Harbor, which was 10 miles from the Confederate capital of Richmond, Virginia. On June 2nd, what was left of both armies arrived, and the Confederates built an elaborate series of fortifications 7 miles long.
Well, that's 2 battles. What's the 3rd battle you mentioned?
Well, in the early mornings of June 3rd, the Union Corps attacked the Confederate and on the south end, and both sides had many casualties. The armies regretted the last battle and soon confronted each other on these lines.
Well, no wonder General Grant is called the Butcher.
Well, you smell like a butcher.
Good for you, Megan. Anyway, for the number 1 spot on ESPN is the Battle of Chattanooga. Let's take a look. In this battle, General Grant's main goal was to focus on lifting the Confederate siege of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Grant opened up what was called the Cracker Line to bring supplies to the Army of the Cumberlands inside the city. Eventually, on November 23rd, the reinforced Federals began to fight their way out.
Well, what was Grant's retaliation?
Well, the next day, Grant sent out an attack and captured Lookout Mountain after 6 hours. After that, Grant sent another attack at Tunnel Hill, which failed. The 3rd battle Grant sent out managed to completely break the center of the Confederate line and made the Confederate withdrawal and open up the Deep South for a Union invasion.
Well, that wraps up our top 3 battles of the 1800s. Good night, everyone.
Not quite, Megan. We still have to do our fun fact for the day.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Let's see. Today, our fun fact is about how Lincoln appoints General Grant. Because General Grant had recently gained national attention with a series of victories, Lincoln wanted to appoint him to be Lieutenant General. Because he was president, Lincoln was able to make these choices. Only 2 men, George Washington and Winfield Scott, had held the rank of Lieutenant General before Grant.
Fascinating. Well, that's a wrap, everybody. See you next weekend for top 3 goat fights of the 1800s.